Hey everybody, it's Mike from The Mike Wagner Show. If you like The Mike Wagner Show and you want to make your own podcast, well, let me tell you about Anchor. First of all, it's free. Secondly, there's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. You can also add any song from Spotify directly to your episodes. The possibilities are endless. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you. You can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, many more. You can also make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor FM to get started.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention The Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from The Mike Wagner Show. It's time to give a shout out to our official sponsor of The Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author Mian Mohsen Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, then you'll love Missing by Mian Mohsen Zia. Available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. It takes place in 4 countries with 2 strangers and 1 target where truth is an illusion and those you love will be the first to go missing. It's available in paperback and ebook on Amazon. Missing by Mian Mohsen Zia has garnered great reviews and is even loved by Hollywood celebrities including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today. Order Missing by Mian Mohsen Zia, now available at Amazon.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, iTunes, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Mike brings you great guests and interesting people from all across the globe. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another great episode of the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from The Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mian Mohsen Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mian Mohsen Zia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers and 1 target, where truth is an illusion and those you love be the first to go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mian Mohsen Zia has garnered great reviews and even loved and endorsed by Hollywood celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today for Goes Missing by Mian Mohsen Zia, available on Amazon. Also, The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on themikewagnershow.com. You can check our Facebook page at facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, and Apple. Coming soon to Podbean, Buzzsprout, Pandora, and TuneIn. And heard worldwide on Geo 7, Radio Public, Himalaya, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel and follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. And for great gift ideas like t-shirts, hoodies, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, and a lot more. Great gifts year-round for your loved ones. Just go to Amazon.com. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast and coming soon to the MikeWagnerShow.com. And for more great gift ideas, including pop sockets, hoodies, also phone cases, and more great gift ideas. Go to Amazon.com and check out Me and Mos and Zia's Missing and Once. Also, go to the Me and Mos and Zia store and Amazon.com. Make sure you check out today. And also, please support the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com with your generous donation. Also support us on Anchor FM/support. Also go to PayPal/the Mike Wagner Show. Make sure you give and make sure you give generously. And don't forget to support your local artists, your local shows, and everything else. Well, speaking of support, we have a wonderful gentleman who basically is a Billboard top 10 recording artist and Music Row country breakout charting songwriter. And of course, in American roots music. And he's, just been all over the place, and he's a top independent artist as well. He's won numerous awards, including 2 Grammy certificates, and also inducted into the Indie Music Hall of Fame recently. And also, he's appeared in the indie film called Oildale in Bakersfield, California, and also just starting off with an amazing career. And he's got some great music like Man of Steel, also I See You, I Reckon, and more. And he's also got a book and album out as well, too. We'll talk more about that, called Appalachia America Stories. And live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studios in beautiful downtown Rhode Island in his wonderful recording studio, we're making out the great hits. Ladies and gentlemen, Grammy Award and award-winning singer-songwriter, very multi-talented, and a true legend, Grant Maloy Smith. Grant, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Hey, thanks so much, Mike. It's great to be here with you.
What's great to have you on board too. So you're a Billboard top 10 recording artist and Music Row country breakout charting songwriter of American roots music. And you also won numerous awards, including 2 Grammy certificates. You also been inducted into the Indie Music Hall of Fame recently. And you also appeared in Oildale film in Bakersfield, California. You also got a new book, new album coming out called Appalachian American Stories. And of course, that one spent 17 weeks on the Billboard charts, including 11 weeks in the top 10. You also got some great songs like Man of Steel, I See You, I Reckon, and more. And of course, you support a lot of causes. You support indie music as well, too. And just an amazing story. And before getting to that, Grant, tell us how you got started.
Wow. That sounds pretty impressive. Even I didn't know I did all that stuff.
I was going to say, I was going to read off a King's Scroll, but I don't know if I have time to do that.
I know. It sounds like I must be very tired after all that stuff I did.
Tired? Never. But we'd love to hear it from you, though. So,
yeah. Well, yeah. As you mentioned, I got a new record coming out. My previous one, Dust Bowl American Stories, was like you just said. I won't repeat all that, but it was on Billboard for a lot of weeks. And now I'm hoping that the new one will have some success too. It's kind of a follow-up. It's called Appalachia American Stories. Like that one, it's a theme record. So it's set in the world of Appalachia, not the mountains where you are, but the ones on the eastern side of the country. And that's kind of where my family's from both sides of my mother's side and my father's side. My mother's side more down in eastern Kentucky, in that area. What is really the cultural part of Appalachia, some people call it hillbillies. That's okay. A lot of coal miners, a lot of lumbering, a lot of stuff from back in the day. But my father's side was more from up in northern Appalachia. But I'm really looking forward to playing this when we can go out and do shows again. It's been a year, more than a year, since I've been able to do a live concert in front of real, actual people. And,
like yours truly and everything else. So without the Zoom.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't mind doing these interviews. It's great on phone or on Zoom or Skype or whatever. But when you play music in front of people, you should play music in front of people, I think. I know I do television sometimes too, and that's okay because I know people are there. But it's still not as much fun as when there's right there, an audience right there, because you can feel the reaction to the songs, and you just can't feel that when there's a separation of glass. You just can't. I can't see them. I can't hear them. I can't gauge their reaction. That's what music's all about, communication.
Right. And of course, going way back as well, too, we noticed that you were born in Jacksonville, Florida. You also went to school in Rhode Island. And, tell us about your journey going from Jacksonville to Rhode Island to, you've been through Appalachia. And, tell us about your journey, including musical as well.
Sure. Yeah, as you mentioned, I was born in northeastern Florida in Jacksonville. My dad was a Navy pilot, and that's why we moved around several times. We even went out to San Diego for a year where one of my sisters were born, then we came back to Florida. But to the Panhandle near Pensacola, where my other sister was born. And then after some years there, those were kind of formative years for me. That's when I started doing artwork and started doing music and a little bit of writing. Then we got shifted again. We moved up to Rhode Island. That's how I ended up here. So I'm kind of like a Southern guy, a Northern guy who's from the South, basically. I've lived both places and in California twice.
Mm-hmm.
So I like America. I like all of it.
Mm-hmm.
I've never lived in the Midwest or the Northwest, but or even in the middle, like between those two, where you are. But I've traveled everywhere in America except 2 states, South Dakota and Alaska, but I'll get them before it's over.
Mm-hmm. And we'll make sure you get there as well too. So it's like if we have to lasso and drag you as well too, or especially get the motorcycle guys from Sturgis, we'll make sure we get you there this time. So
yeah, it's a long way on a horse, so I'll probably take an airplane or something.
Mm-hmm. And of course, you talked about enjoying your time in the United States. What was your favorite place in the United States, and why?
Oh boy, I don't think it's possible to answer that because there's so many unique places in our country that are amazing. And how do you? It's like trying to choose your favorite child. You can't. They're all different. They're all unique, and you love them all. And it's just impossible to choose. It's a Socratic choice that I hope I never have to make. I wish I could live everywhere at once, but I can't. Gotta pick a place to live.
Right, exactly. Yeah, and of course, you also went to Rhode Island, for school as well too, in the School of Design as well too.
Right.
Then he went into music. And what would you say? What was that one precise moment that simply influenced you into what you're doing today?
Boy, that's hard to say exactly, but even when I was a little kid down in Florida, the Beatles were big and the Rolling Stones and all that kind of stuff when I was really little, and that influenced me so much. At the same time, my grandmother from Kentucky and my mother also, she was playing me, particularly my grandmother was playing me American roots music. She
Mm-hmm.
called it mountain music.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was sounded old-fashioned and boring to me, because I was 6 years old. I wanted to hear jangly guitars and guys with long hair. That was the exciting stuff when you're a kid and when you're younger. But as I got older, I kind of went back into that music. So my grandmother planted a seed in my fuzzy little head that really took root in me later in life. I mean, when I was really maybe like 20, I was doing kind of rock and roll stuff, and then I think it just matured and grew into the roots music that is my roots, and
Mm-hmm.
I like it because you can tell stories in a way that's kind of hard to do in many other, not every other genre, but many of them. It's a real storytelling thing, and I think that's what people like. People like to hear stories. They like to tell stories. They like to watch them in movies and TV and read them in books. We're all about stories, and
Mm-hmm.
the American roots and country, they're kind of interrelated. And bluegrass songs, they're all really about storytelling more so than jangly guitars, although they're pretty good at that too.
Mm-hmm. And of course, you got a lot of great Americana that's out there right now as well too. And who are some of your other favorite artists, singers, and musicians growing up besides the Beatles and the Rolling Stones?
Well, I started to like the rootsy people, like that my grandmother played for me, like Hank Williams and those kind of people. That was real formative for me because he was really a great songwriter.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't live to be very old, unfortunately, because he got hooked on alcohol, but he was a great songwriter. And all those kind of people. Nowadays, it's more like several generations later, you have Alison Krauss and you have Vince Gill and Rodney Crowell and people of that ilk, Larry Cordell. These are great, great songwriters and performers and entertainers.
Mm-hmm.
We just lost John Prine about a year ago at this time, and
Yeah, I remember that.
that was a big loss. Great songwriter, like Rodney is, like Vince is. These are all great people, and if I could just be a little bit like them, that'd be enough for me.
Mm-hmm. And of course, you're certainly on a way to do so. Got some great music out there with Man of Steel, I See You, and Reckon as well too. And you also won numerous awards as well too. We'll talk about those in just 1 minute, but first listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs at below the competition rate. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@SonicWebStudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Mosendia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you love Missing by Mia Mosendia, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is an illusion and those you love be the first to go missing. It's available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Mosendia has garnered great reviews and even loved and endorsed by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today before it goes missing by Mia Mosendia. Available on Amazon. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can check our Facebook page at Facebook.com/the Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, and Apple. Coming soon to Podbean, Buzzsprout, Pandora, and TuneIn, and heard worldwide on Geo 7, Radio Public, Himalaya, and more. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel, and follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today. And don't forget to check out the Mike Wagner Show merchandise, t-shirts, pop sockets, hoodies, throw pillows, tote bags, and more. Makes great gift ideas 24/7. Go to Amazon.com. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, including hoodies, t-shirts, as well as phone cases and more, go to Amazon.com. Check out the Me and Mosendia store. Check out great books like Missing, Once, and more. Amazon.com/Me and Mosendia. Make sure you order today. Also support us greatly on the MikeWagnerShow.com. Support us on Anchor FM and PayPal, and make sure you do so today. We're here with the very, very multi-talented, award-winning Grant Maloy Smith, singer, songwriter, Billboard Top 10 recording artist, and Music Row country breakout charting songwriter, Americana, and also won numerous awards, including 2 Grammy certificates, and inducted into the Indie Music Hall of Fame. And it's, you know, how people say, like, you win Grammy awards, you call them Grammy certificates. So it's amazing about that. And I guess you could say, what's the difference really between an award and a certificate? But you could probably explain that one better than I could.
Well, yeah, they're two different things, really. So certificate is, let's say you're on a record that wins a Grammy, you get a certificate. But if your name is, like, if it's your record, then you get the actual Grammy statue. So
you did? Okay. All right.
By the way, I want to show you something. And for people that don't see the video, I'm holding up a record album, a big 12-inch, 180-gram LP. This record, Appalachia American Stories, is the first time I've produced a record on actual vinyl. So that's kind of cool. Vinyl's really coming back these days.
You know, something too that I actually have some vinyl myself. Unfortunately, I don't have access right now. I've had those long mechanical arms. I could probably just, crank it up and try to reel them in. But I think they're stored in a safe place right now. And my daughter recently got me, Queen's, what was it? A Day at the Races. And that was like a nice gift. And I still have some albums from, I
think I still have that one.
Yep.
When I bought it back in the 80s or whatever. Mm-hmm.
And my parents, though, I have them from like the 50s, 60s. I picked them up in the 70s, 80s, and then it kind of just, petered out a little bit, and then it started making a comeback. And I actually still had the original Patsy Cline greatest hits. You may have Snap, Crack, Pop, and all that, but then it's just like, it sounds a lot better than you buy the vinyl today. It's like the actual vinyl with all the snaps, the cracks, the pops, the skips, and it's like, la 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 la, and it's like that. You got to put a penny on, or you try to just go back and forth, wrong speed, or the thing just ends right there and says, "Please turn me over." It's like you just can't beat the original, though. But I'm glad vinyl's making a comeback.
People bought more vinyl records last year than they did CDs.
Mm-hmm. Right.
First time since like 40 years ago when CDs first came out. Of course, vinyl was the way. Everybody bought vinyl, for the most part, and then there were some cassette sales too. Mm-hmm. And CDs came along and just took off, and vinyl started plummeting. But now, because of streaming, CD sales have been cut like 90% from where they were maybe 5-6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And now, but vinyl's making this huge comeback. So this record's all about old timey kind of stuff. I figured I should produce it on vinyl. Plus, I've never done it before.
Mm-hmm.
That was quite a good experience, educational experience, because it's really a whole different process than making a CD. That's for sure.
Oh, really? So what is the difference? Make it on vinyl. Of course, CD, you just, put on a blank disc and everything. But vinyls, it's like, what's the process on that? I mean, that sounds really interesting. And I read something about vinyl as well too. You had these certain cuts and whatever else. And I thought,
Yeah.
explain the process of vinyl.
Because,
This is very
sure.
fascinating.
Because vinyl is LPs are analog. There's no computers. You don't make the music into ones and zeros like you do for pretty much all other media like streaming and CDs. So the music is still analog, like people are. We're analog. So you can't just cut it with a laser like on a computer. You have to make a lathe. It's basically a mold. You know how you make plastic parts? You make a mold, and then you inject plastic into them. It's similar. You make a mold which has the lines in it that are cut by a lathe. So they actually play the music into this thing that cuts as the lathe turns. The thing cuts it.
Wow.
Like the thing rotates underneath, and the lathe cuts it. It converts the sound into like little movements of this needle. That when you play it, when you then put vinyl in it and you put it into an oven and squeeze it down, it's like making a cake, basically. So you print both sides, and then it has to cool off, and they trim it and they put it into this nice thing, with a cover inside it, to keep it safe. So when you play it, it's like the opposite or the inverse of that. So now this thing spins around on your turntable, and you put a needle on it, which then takes the sound out of the grooves and then goes through an amplifier so you can hear it. It's sort of like the relationship between a microphone and a speaker. They're almost the same thing, but they're just kind of opposites. A microphone takes sound waves and converts them into voltages that move up and down, and a speaker does the reverse. It takes the voltages and makes them back into, with the speaker moving the air, puts it back into the air, so we can hear it with our sensors up here.
That's fascinating because I like the way how you just, took it as like making a cake. And then I try to learn, history of vinyls, like they never mentioned it whatsoever. Now it's like, I think everything's all simplified these days, thanks to social media, the internet and everything else. And it's so amazing.
It's pretty cool. And it sounds good. They don't get the cracks and the pops till after you play them a whole bunch of times.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And you also got
when we were kids, we'd play them 1,000 times. Plus, when you're a kid, you sort of don't really take good care of them. Now, as grown-ups, you put it in the nice sleeve and you keep the dust off of it and all that. So
yeah. And of course, you step on 'em, you break, the cat would scratch or whatever, or it's like, you put pennies on to prevent the skips, or I've seen some people that just, spin them backwards and just to hear what kind of message it gets out there too. So, oh my gosh, we play with all that. So, and of course, you had some other great music as well too. We'll talk more about your, Americana stories as well too in a minute. You also had Man of Steel, which is the official song of National Veterans Foundation, and I See You, I Reckon, and just plenty of hits out there. And tell us more about those. And there's other songs you want to mention. Feel free to do so.
Yeah. Well, Man of Steel, I wrote. I was in an airport and I met this young man who was missing a leg. He had a prosthetic leg on, a kind of modern one. He had lost it in the Middle East. He was in the military, and he got it blown off. And I started talking to him. The plane got really late, and so we talked for hours. We talked. Normally, you wouldn't get very deep with someone at the airport, right? But we were there for 3 hours. And finally, I learned a lot about him and his background. And I was just so struck by his spirit. He had such a positive spirit, even though he lost his leg and he's a young man. He said, look, I was in the military. You can say whatever you want about the conflict over there. Doesn't matter. I served my country. I'm not in charge of the politics. I served my country, and I'm proud of that. And I came back here. And now I'm going to go to college. I'm the first person to ever be able to go to college in my family's history.
Wow.
I served in the military. And that's what he was going to do, to look at a college. About a week later, I got home and I just started, when you write songs, you just sort of mess around on the guitar or the piano and you play some stuff. You go, oh, I like that. Then you work on it a little bit more. And I started writing a song and I realized very quickly it was really kind of about him. But not just about him. All the young men and women who serve us, they go over and again, it's not about whether the war is good or not. I mean, no war is good, obviously.
Right. Yeah. And of course, I talked to somebody about that and they said that, interesting fact that, someone said that we haven't won a war since 1945. And, it's just like, sometimes you wonder what's it for. And everything else like that. But
Yeah, but it's not for me. It's not about that. It's about these people that serve, and they like the ones in World War II, like in every war. They didn't start it. They're not responsible for the war.
right.
And like World War II, we had no choice about that one. Either fight or become, join the Nazis. You want to lose all your freedom. Sometimes you have to go to war. Other times you don't. But regardless of that, the people that serve, they deserve our thanks. They deserve our gratitude for the sacrifices that they've made, for the chance that they've rolled the dice on their life. They could easily lose it. Millions of them have, and or they come back grievously injured, like so many did during the Gulf conflicts that we've had because of the IEDs. So many people injured, unbelievable, hundreds of thousands. So they deserve our gratitude. They really do.
And of course, going back as well to Vietnam as well too. Agent Orange, it really affected everybody. Caused a lot of stress. PTSD and trauma and everything else, and all these things are now coming up here.
What I'm really glad about is that the National Veterans Foundation heard the song, and I made a video for it too. They saw the video, and they decided they wanted to make it their official theme song. So it is the official theme song of the National Veterans Foundation, which is nvf.org. You can go there to their website. You can see the video. You can see what they do. They were the first ones that figured out what PTSD even was, but it didn't even have a name at the beginning.
Oh, really?
Just thought that guys came back and they just went a little crazy. There was no name for it. There was no diagnosis for it. Now we know what causes it. It's obviously this repeated stress from, these people sort of like the police do, but maybe even worse. They experience things that we normal, and I shouldn't say normal, but people that don't have those jobs never experience. They see things that we're lucky to never see. And they see it sometimes happen to their friends right in front of them.
Right.
And that takes a toll on anybody's psychological well-being. It has to. How can it not? So, they need our care and attention for sure. If they come back with that, they need help, and we got to give it to them.
Right. And of course, we also, pray for loved ones and everything else. You also have I See You as well, too. That's another chart topper, I reckon. And you also got some more. And tell us about those songs. And if there's some other songs you'd like to mention, feel free to do so. Yeah.
You mentioned I See You. It sounds like ICU, like the intensive care unit, but it's really like I see you with my eyes.
Yes, exactly.
Where that one came from, I was in Texas, and I was in a mall. I was traveling, I was doing shows, and I went to a mall because they have a food court. I could pick up some food quickly. And I was sitting next to a table of really, really old people. They were all in their 80s or even 90s. And I couldn't help but hear they were sitting right next to me, so I could hear them. I didn't want to eavesdrop, but I couldn't help it. And they were talking about what it was like to be older, and how society looked at them. One beautiful old lady said, sometimes I feel like I walk down the street and people look right through me. Younger people look right through me. They don't even see me. And I thought, wow, that's really powerful. That people that they felt invisible. That people just ignore the older people, just don't even look at them. And so I wrote a song about that too, similar to the way the other song started, but with that inspiration from real life, from a real person that I met. And so that song, like the other song, was chosen by Masterpiece Living. Now, Masterpiece Living is a group. It's a big company that they have rest homes, they have all kinds of retirement stuff, but more than that, they advocate for, sort of like other organizations do. They advocate for the rights of older people, and also they have a lot of knowledge about what they go through. Like loneliness is one of the biggest problem of older people. Like when they lose their spouse that they've been married to for practically their whole life. Imagine how lonely that is, And so that's a major thing to deal with, sort of like the PTSD is for returning soldiers. That's something they work very hard on, and try to educate people and try to, help those people. So they chose I See You to be a theme song for one of their campaigns. And in fact, they even called the campaign I See You after the name of the song. Because that is an important thing. A lot of older people don't feel like people look at them anymore. Like they just kind of been discarded by society because they don't have a job anymore. They're somehow not useful. But if you look around what's going on culturally in this country, I think we need some wisdom because there's a whole lot of idiocy going around in the United States right
Oh,
now.
yes.
We need some wisdom and some people who have their feet on the ground because they've lived a life and they've been through the ups and the downs, and they know what reality is all about. We should listen to people older than us.
And do you think the social media has also caused us to accelerate more and pretty much ignore the wisdom and everything, or do you think it's on the verge of making it better? You think social media has accelerated this, or you think it's becoming more of an encouragement?
That's probably above my pay grade to answer that. There might be some measures of both in there. Like anything else, it's a tool. Social media is a tool. It has the power to do great things. It has the power to do really terrible things. And I think right now it is doing both. There are aspects of it that are quite good. For example, something like Facebook. When I first, like most people, first started using it maybe 10 years ago or so. And it was kind of cool because you could find like people you went to high school with, even though how else would you find them? How else could you possibly do? People move, they go all over the country, all over the world. How would you ever find somebody before something like Facebook was around? So I think that kind of thing is a positive thing. It's good. But then, you can see how it can also be twisted around and used for partisan, political kind of stuff. And I'm not talking about one side or the other. I just mean it can be used to kind of amplify negativity. And I'm not a negative person. I don't like anything that amplifies negativity. And those kind of things do allow that. Those platforms allow it and encourage it even. So it has good parts and it has bad parts, like anything else.
And also too with the song "I Reckon" as well too, and tell us a bit about that too. And like I said, if there's other songs, feel free to put them out there.
Yeah, well, "I Reckon" was a single I had a little while ago that I recorded it in Nashville myself and released it. It's about a young man who it's kind of like the father-son thing where you learn from your dad and then you grow up and then you kind of pass that down to your own children and so on. So it's a story like that, and it's kind of a classic story. I'm not the one who invented it, that's for sure. I just told it my own way. But that song was also covered by another country artist, Jeff Claiborne, and he released it too. And it was actually went up pretty high in the U.S. That was the one you mentioned, the Music Row country breakout chart. It was on there for weeks, and it was in Europe too, and the country charts over there. It went up pretty high. I think it was in the top 10 over there.
Top 10, you're right. I think in other places too, like overseas and other side of the pond, Asia, and other places.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So now I'm putting all my effort into this new record, and it's coming out. The first single is going to hit. Oh, I got to tell you, this is kind of cool. The first song on Appalachia American Stories is called "The Coal Comes Up." So there's a lot of coal mining in Appalachia, particularly in the past. Less of it now, but back before oil took over in the 1940s, coal was the way we heated our homes. So, there were trains carrying and trucks carrying coal everywhere to everybody's house in the country. So it was huge. To make this song, I actually went to a coal mine in Kentucky to make the video, I should say. It's a song I already had made, but to make the video, I actually shot it in a coal mine.
Oh, wow. You mean you went underground to do it? Wow.
Yeah, several hundred feet into this mine, and it was pretty cool. It was really cool. I would say I would highly recommend it if you want to get really dirty and bump your head a lot. It's perfect for that. There's no better place to do it than in a coal mine.
Or if you want to get some wisdom, get a little noggin in the. Yeah, I could see why.
I kept hitting of course I was wearing a hat like this, and I kept hitting it and going, and I looked later at the hat, it had all these black marks all over it.
Oh my gosh.
The ceiling is, everything's coal everywhere. It's dusty and very sparkly too. Surprisingly. It's kind of like black diamonds.
I was just going to say too, if you found any of that too, and also you talk about that first song, and it kind of leads up to more others as well too, and in Appalachian American Stories, and that's one that's been 17 weeks on the Billboard charts, 11 in top 10.
This one's not out yet, so it hasn't been any weeks on but the Dust Bowl album was on the Billboard charts for 17 weeks.
Okay, yeah, I think my associate producer kind of just crossed up on that one, but we forgive him
Right.
for that too. So
I hope this one does the same thing. That would be great.
and of course, we'll talk more about Appalachian American stories, and you also appeared in a film as well too. What's coming up for Grant Maloy Smith? We'll find out in just 1 minute. Listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Also brought to you by our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson Zia Missing, available on Amazon and paperback and ebook. We'll be back with singer, songwriter, multi-talented, award-winning Grant Maloy Smith after this timeout.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. You know, it talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamotionzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from The Mike Wagner Show. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on over 30 podcast platforms, including Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor FM, iTunes, Google Play, Amazon, Audible, Apple, and more. Coming soon to Podbean, Buzzsprout, Pandora, and TuneIn, where The Mike Wagner Show interviews great guests, cool conversation, lots of laughs, coffee, and more. Take The Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to The Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel, and follow The Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter today.
Hey, this is Ray Powers. And if there's one thing you can count on in these unpredictable times, it's that you're in good hands getting some great radio, courtesy of The Mike Wagner Show.
We're back with singer, songwriter, multi-talented, award-winning Grant Maloy Smith here on the Mike Wagner Show, and we talked about his amazing career with being a Billboard top 10 recording artist and Music Row country breakout chart artist, and also won numerous awards, including 2 Grammy certificates, and inducted in the Indie Music Hall of Fame. And of course, you got your brand new album out, which is coming soon, Appalachia American Stories. And once again, show it to us as well too, and cut on vinyl, and it's just amazing too. And tell us a little bit about more. We talked about the coal mine, and perhaps a song or two you like to talk about. Oh, and the CD, that's right. It's like, how could we forget the CD? Yeah.
Yeah, if you buy the vinyl LP, you get also a CD, of course, because everybody pretty much can play a CD these days, at least in their car, unless you have a really new car. They've taken them out of the cars now too. Yeah, so this record kind of is a labor of love, much like the previous one, Dust Bowl, was. This one's even more personal for me because my family's from this area. They were not from the Dust Bowl, although I studied it for 3 years like I did this record. So there's 2 songs on here about coal. They're very different though. And there's songs about just my love for the mountains and that kind of thing. And there's one particular song it's actually about my mother. It's called The Red-Haired Girl from Hazard, Kentucky. And that's one of my personal favorite ones. Then there's a funny song on there too called Gas Station Chicken.
Gas Station Chicken?
You do any traveling around the South, you're going to find you some gas station chicken.
Oh my gosh, you're making me hungry for some right now.
Some of it's pretty darn good. Even though don't judge a book by its cover, even though it's coming out of a gas station. Lord have mercy, it's pretty good.
And I have to confess too,
it's harder.
I have to confess, I actually been to some gas stations in North Dakota, and they make some pretty darn good chicken. I mean, you got the stuff that's even better than Colonel Sanders and Kentucky Fried. So you got was it? I'm trying to think, like Champ's Chicken. You get those chicken fingers, chicken tenders, chicken sandwich, ham bread. It's like, oh my God. Like it's like you're eating in a restaurant practically. So
Oh, there's also a kind of like a roots gospel song on the record, and I have a special guest artist on there, Janice Brown. She's the Reverend Janice Brown. She's a very big gospel singer. Back in the 80s, she had a huge hit with Rough Side of the Mountain.
Mhm.
She's a friend of mine. She lives down in Eastern Tennessee, and she offered to sing with me on it. So we sing together on it. And then we got some great gospel singers, Kim Fleming and Kim Mont, to sing backing vocals with us on there. That's really cool. It was great to hear that gospel choir sound, you know.
Oh yeah.
Kind of gives you goosebumps. It puts a shiver up your spine.
Oh my gosh. And of course, I've been through the country myself. My wife lived in West Virginia for 12 years, been in churches and everything around that territory. And it's just like you go to a church, it feels like you get that true gospel in you. It's just so amazing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I go through, every time I go to Kentucky, I go through West Virginia pretty much. Although I can go around through Virginia and come around, but it's a little easier for me to go through West Virginia. So I think I've been through West Virginia 50 times at least.
Wow, that is something.
It's the only state that's completely inside the Appalachian mountain chain.
Oh, that's interesting.
There isn't 1 inch of West Virginia that's not in the Appalachian Mountains.
And of course, there's one thing I forgot to mention as well, too. You also played in big venues like Carnegie Hall as well, too. And that'd be a great feat for you.
Yeah, that was quite a lot of fun. And I'm going to do it again next April. I was supposed to do it again last April, but we all know what happened last April. So there were no concerts at Carnegie Hall. And it was even postponed to this year. So it was going to be last month, but even we weren't ready yet with COVID. So it got put off for 2 years. But in April of 2022, I'll be back at Carnegie Hall in New York City. So
Nice.
that's going to be a lot of fun. Later this year, I'm going to do Lincoln Center in New York City in December, kind of a holiday-themed show.
Okay.
That's part of the Indie Collaborative. So that's going to be a lot of fun to do.
And that's amazing. You talk about the Indie Collaborative and tell everybody about the Indie Collaborative, what's about, and how can they find you? It's like, that's like the ultimate voice of indie music.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Yeah. In fact, you're a member. We're proud to have you. It's a group for independent, not just musicians or songwriters like me, but people that are in the music world, like you, like radio people, like DJs and bloggers, like managers, photographers, publicists, promotion people. It's for people that are in the industry as well as people who are artists, so in front of the camera as well as behind the camera, in effect, or, in the recording studio on one side of the glass or the other. It doesn't matter. As long as you're in the industry in some way and you're professional about your work, you can be a member. It doesn't cost anything to join. You just have to go to Indie Collaborative, like INDIE collaborative.com. And click the join menu and you can sign up in a few minutes. You can have your profile on our website. We have more than 800 of our members' profiles on there. We have several thousand members, but we don't put your profile unless you want us to, because of a privacy issue. But when you sign up, there's a checkbox at the bottom. You can check to have us put your profile on there or not if you don't want to. Some people don't. It depends. It's up to you. But we do, as I mentioned, we put on shows. And we put on showcases. We have both kinds of shows. In showcases, our members can come and they can perform. It's sort of like the biggest open mic you've ever seen. You have 300 people watching an open mic. But we choose people in advance to make sure that it's not just total bedlam. Because you can't have 300 people each play for even 5 minutes. It would be like a 12-hour long show.
I was just going to say, I calculated it's just like, 5 minutes, like, when's my turn next?
Well, tomorrow afternoon about 4 a.m. So we choose 20 or so people in advance. And so, of course, you don't want to, carry your instrument around and then not play. That would be disappointing.
Right, exactly. And of course, you have to have a lot of coffee too. So,
but we have these great shows. We haven't had one since just before COVID. We did one in Hollywood just before the Grammys of 2020, so early last year. And then, of course, we usually do one in the summer, but we couldn't do one last year. This year, we're going to do one in September. We assume things will be pretty much open again, or at least enough to do a show. Mm-hmm. So that's planned. That'll be in Newport, Rhode Island. First time we've ever done a show in Rhode Island. We've normally done New York and LA many, many times. And then around the country, we've done Nashville and Atlanta and Chicago and Philadelphia and probably somewhere else I'm forgetting. But we've mostly go back and forth between LA and New York because that's where most of the people are. But we're going to do Newport this year.
Nice.
In September. So on our website, you can get your tickets if you want to go to that one.
Okay.
It's going to be a lot of fun. And then we have the holiday celebration show. That's a produced show. That'll be at Lincoln Center in December, and then Carnegie Hall in April of next year. And so that's what we're up to. So in addition to my own personal stuff, I do a lot of the indie collaborative stuff because I'm the co-founder with Eileen Sherman. She's my co-founder, and she's in New York. She's a musical theater person. Mm-hmm. I'm a hillbilly, so it's an odd couple, but we work great together and we have a good time.
Mm-hmm. And of course, she was a guest on the Mike Wagner Show too. Just an amazing lady as well too. Mm-hmm. So just amazing. She's
an Emmy-winning writer and lyricist, and has a lot of accomplishments to her name. That's for sure.
And where can people find the Indie Collaborative, and also once again how do they join?
Yeah, just go to indiecollaborative.com and then click the join menu, and there's a form there. You just fill it out and send it in, and we'll do the rest.
That sounds great. And also too, once again, where can we find your Appalachian American Stories album at? Where can we find all your works at?
Sure. If you go to my website, that's the best way. So it's just my three names, just like what my mother used to yell at me. Grant Maloy Smith, you get over here right now.
You get over here right now. I'll give you a whooping.
You go to Grant, and then Maloy only has one L. So don't be fooled by that. Most Maloys spell it with two L's, but
right.
Who knows why I only have one? Just like I cheated.
Or it could be a typo as well too. I heard some stories on the radio too a while back that someone left out a name or misspelled and everything, and you try to get a hold of the nurse or whoever. And it's like once a birth certificate's out, you can't change it and everything. and of course, that stuff has happened, but of course, make it you're important as well too. So I've heard stories, but you got a unique story. I got to say that.
Yep. If you just go to grantmaloysmith.com, you can read all about Appalachia. You just follow the music link and to albums, and you'll see it. Or if you just put grantmaloysmith.com, or you could put little hyphens between my three names too. That works even better. And then you can put / the word Appalachia.
Okay.
All lowercase.
We certainly would do. Okay.
Right to it.
Sounds good. We certainly do so. Once again, we're singer-songwriter, award-winning Grant Maloy Smith on the Mike Wagner Show. Grant, just a few more things. We'd love to have you back on in 2021 and beyond. You've been absolutely terrific. And what else can we expect from you in 2021 and beyond this, Grant?
Well, I'm going to make more videos. I really liked making that one down in the coal mine. I don't think I need to go back to the coal mine because I don't have any more coal songs that I haven't already shot. But I'll be doing more videos. So I'm going to go back to West Virginia and Kentucky and do that. In the summer, I'm going to play. There's a show called Song of the Mountain that's held in Marion, Virginia, just southwestern Virginia. In August, I'm going to play that with the band, and that's done in the Lincoln Theater there in Marion, Virginia, but in front of a live audience. But it's also filmed for PBS, so that'll be out. I don't know when, but it'll be in later in the year probably, or early next year. It'll be on PBS.
Wow, that's interesting. We'll have to check it out for sure.
Yeah,
we'll do so.
I can't wait to do a show again. I haven't done a show since last March.
Wow,
15 months ago.
I think
I've done shows on the internet, but that's not the same. I mean, in front of a real audience, right there. I haven't done shows. 15
welcome to come up to North Dakota anytime. We'll be more than glad to see you perform. So we'll do that.
It will be in the summer for sure.
that would be great. And who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
Who
do you consider biggest influence in your career?
Wow, that's hard to say. I can't pick one. Yeah, if I had to be honest about it, I'd probably say my Kentucky Grammy, because she's the one that played all this music for me.
Okay.
And without her, I never would have gone in this direction. I don't think I would have discovered it.
And that's very good as well too. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
Mean another songwriter? Or
it can be anything, songwriting, music, or just in general.
Be yourself. Don't try to be a copy of anybody else, and be super authentic. Don't forget, it's all about bringing joy and love to other people with real honesty.
And that's a great point as well, too. Once again, we're singer-songwriter, multi-talented, and award-winning Grant Maloy Smith on the Mike Wagner Show. Grant, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to having you again soon. Do us a favor. Keep us up to date. Love you back on in 2021 beyond. Don't forget to keep in touch. You've been terrific. And once again, tell us about your upcoming projects, what's your website, how do people contact, and where can people purchase or listen to music, especially with your brand new release, Appalachia.
Just my website, Grant-Maloy with one L-Smith.com. And everything's right there for you.
We certainly will do so. Once again, Grant, a very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely amazing. Looking forward to having you again soon. Do us a favor. Keep us up to date. Love you back on in 2021 beyond. And don't forget to keep in touch. You've been absolutely terrific. Make sure you come to North Dakota. You hear?
I will do. Thank you, Mike.
Hey, everybody. My name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real-life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. You know, it talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamotionzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, Custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Thanks for listening to the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Please support our program with your donations at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again next time for another great episode of The Mike Wagner Show.